Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be starting this series called Peace and Love, the Pulse of Humanity. And it's all about creating new ways of action, new ways of being to take in this time where humanity is shifting. And I chose the name Pulse of Humanity because P-U-L-C-E, each letter stands for something different. Peace, unity, love, C is collaboration, and E is embrace, like to embrace everything. And today in my first interview, I prefer to call it a conversation, I have with me Dr. Larisa Shevchuk, who I've known for quite a few years. She's a mother of two, and instead of me telling you all this, I'm just going to read you her background. So welcome, Larisa. Let me read. So Dr. Larisa Shevchuk has been in the health industry for 2 decades, first as a registered nurse and worked as an intensive care nurse and cardiac nurse. She was always interested in Eastern medicine, meditation, and energy medicine, and been studying these avidly. In the last decade, she's been working as a chiropractor and has been leading a team of health professionals in her clinic at Bayview Village. She is a mother of 2 young children and forever a student of life. Yeah, that's how I know you. She coaches her clients in how to love their body and give it proper thanks and focus on function of the body and how it feels versus how it looks. Some of the benefits that clients experience as they work with Dr. Larisa are peace of mind, clarity of thoughts, presence to their thoughts, an ability to neutralize negative thoughts and choose empowering thoughts, mastering their intuition and having divine synchronicities occur on regular basis while slowing down aging and having an accelerated rate of manifestation in their lives. Hence why I asked her to join me today. So welcome, Larisa. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mimi.
I sit here and I say, I want to know all those things. What can you tell me in 20 minutes? And at the same time, I want to share with our listeners that you, with everything that you have, you are dealing with this virus at a grassroots level. Your husband came home from India 2 nights ago. You're a mother of 2 children. So why don't you start telling us as a professional what you're implementing in order to manage that and be responsible for the community. And of course, then whatever you want to share with us about how we can be managing our own health at this trying time.
Of course. Thank you for allowing me to be here, Mimi. Emmanuel did come back 2 nights ago from India. When he was getting on the airplane, we were in communication. He had no symptoms at that point. We knew he's going to be self-quarantining himself. And when he got home from the plane, I asked him as well, like, well, how are you? Do you have any symptoms? He was checked at the airport. They were checking temperatures, and they asked everyone to self-quarantine. We thought about keeping them in a basement bedroom, which has its own bathroom. And it was like kids wanted to be around him. He is in a separate bedroom. I'm sleeping in the kids' bedroom right now, so we're not sleeping in the same bed. He's working upstairs in his office. He's not going grocery shopping or anywhere outside to have contact with people. We are going outside for walks. And honestly, I have no fear. Like I operate out of love and being responsible. Like we're washing hands, sanitizing surfaces with natural cleaners, because I'm a natural cleaner person. We're doubling up on our supplements. We typically do take vitamin D and vitamin C. So we're really just doubling up on that for kids and for everyone. And I guess that's about it. Like I'm still going, I've done all my grocery shopping before he arrived. So I usually do it once a week. So I'm not going to the groceries for another week, but I was planning to go grocery shopping and do the essentials and not have contact with other people otherwise. And I'm letting people know that my husband came back from India. So if we're out of contact, then they have a choice.
So if I hear you correctly, for all intents and purposes, you and the kids are self-quarantining yourself or physically distancing yourself from people. Your husband and maybe you and the kids might be going outside for a walk because you need air and stuff like that, but you're not interacting, they're not interacting with people, and you will have to go shopping, and you'll manage whatever it is that you need to manage at that time when you go out.
Correct.
I can actually get that, and I understand that you would have your kids interacting with your husband from a place of not from a place of wanting your husband needing to feel loved, and from your kids needing to have their father. Like, I don't know that you'd be able to have two kids in a house and say, don't go near daddy. So making sure your kids are healthy and can fight the virus without getting anything, if he was a carrier. We don't even know that he's a carrier, right? That's an individual choice. So I definitely understand that the idea of keeping peace and love and not having panic in the house, doing that, and then being responsible for what you do on the outside. So kudos to you for that action. So share with us as human beings what we could be doing, what we should be doing, what's new in terms of this shift with humanity. How do we support ourselves in this time?
Thank you. I do have my dog barking in the background, so I want to apologize for that. Well, do follow the instructions of the health government. You know, I'm here to support you, share what I'm doing. So definitely wash your hands, do your supplements. I highly recommend vitamin D, vitamin C as important ones to take. And your calming, empowering routines. Maybe you've been doing them, so continue doing them. If you have not been doing, it's a great time to start your mornings with some empowering routines. And the biggest one is gratitude and love and kindness to self. Finding what are we grateful for right now, that we have roof over our head, we have food in the fridge, the society and government is taking care of everything. Maybe it's not the way we wish it was, and it's being taken care of. So we're focusing on things that we can control and thanking our body for being here right now and what it's doing. Acknowledging the thoughts of fear, like they come in, it's completely normal. We'd be inhuman if we didn't have all these feelings and emotions. However, neutralizing those thoughts with something positive and saying, I'm doing all the steps that I have to take. These are the foods that I'm eating to be healthy. These are the supplements that I'm taking to be healthy. I'm going for a walk, or I'm dancing with my kids to a song. So you're doing all those things to stay positive and healthy. And really, that's all we have control over. Even when there is no virus out there, there's so much danger. Like, really, us getting out in the car and driving is potentially a dangerous thing. And we being responsible by not getting in the car under the influence of drugs or alcohol. We're checking our environment. We're being responsible as we're doing these dangerous activities. Yeah. So this is a similar time. We're being responsible and doing what we can. And the rest of this is in my hands, I find.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, some of the fear or panic that some people are feeling are just because they haven't had to deal with this before. They know how to deal with a dangerous instrument called the car. They don't know how to deal with this. And so they grasp at anything.
And it's so unknown. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And I also want to touch on the point that, like, it's actually what I find amazing is that we collectively are going through this. And before, individual families or individuals were going through devastating news or diagnoses and felt very alone and scared and unknown. And now we're doing it as a society. So there's some comfort in that it's a collective thing. And it's a part of life, because we are, I find, living our lives like we're never going to die, or nobody's going to get sick and die. And reality is we all will, at some point, transition. So I feel like that's where a lot of fear is, that people are actually being confronted by it. They think, if I stop this virus, then I'm okay. and we're not confronting that there's going to be other things. And not that I'm saying take it lightly and just go ahead and like go out and contract the virus, you know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just asking for us to start thinking of the bigger picture and confronting those fears. Because why are we afraid? Because obviously we're saying it's not our time to go yet. There's so much we need to accomplish on this earth. So let's start doing that. Let's start thinking of what we want to accomplish here. Why are we here? Holding the vision for the bigger picture.
Yeah. So there's two things to what I want to say to that. So the first thing is to go back to something you said in terms of maintaining what you're doing, taking vitamin C and D and walks and stuff like that. I started last week doing 3 runs a day. Small, short runs. I go up the street and back. They're no longer than, last week I started off at the 2-minute mark, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I built it up to 3 minutes. This morning's run was 5 minutes. I'm not planning on doing more than a 5-minute run. It's literally up the street and back. And what it does is, what I'm feeling that it does, first of all, it's getting my circulation going. So if it's getting my circulation going, then my system is able to flush out any toxins that it needs to flush out properly. And it's also cleaning out my lungs. And the virus, it tends to attack the lungs. So if you can maintain that cleanliness also in your lungs, it helps. I feel so much stronger and better than I did even just a week ago. So that's just my little tidbit. I don't know how much validity it has. I'm just sharing. That's what I've been doing. And I feel great. I do one morning, one just after lunch, and one right before the sun goes down. I feel awesome.
I love it. That's a great tip. And I want to share 2 tips as well, Mimi, for people who are feeling worried and they want to do more. It could be gargling with salt water in their throat, because the virus first does go in the throat. And by gargling with salt water a couple times a day, we're clearing out the area. So that's one thing they can be doing as well. Another thing to increase our immune system is after we finish showering, to give yourself a cold shower. So it doesn't have to be ice cold. It could be whatever you're tolerating that it feels a little bit cold. It actually is very beneficial for the immune system to get that jolt of cold water. So that's another thing they can add.
What does that do exactly? How does that help?
How does it work? It works on the nervous system, and it acts like a shock therapy in a way. So it actually wakes the body up and makes it more vigilant to be like, what's happening in the body versus having the warm shower and just finishing with a warm shower.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to say a little bit more to that because I actually do that. And I'm going to give people the reference on where they can find out more about it. So what happens is I take my warm shower, and then when I'm done, I turn the water off, turn the hot water off just a little bit. And when my body gets used to it, I turn it down more. And my body gets used to it, I turn it down even more. And so
I do exactly the same thing, Mimi.
Until I'm just under cold water, and I stay under that cold water for about 2 or 3 minutes, so that my body is just used to cold as much as it does to heat. You could read a lot more about it from the Iceman. Just look it up on YouTube. I just know him as the Iceman, and I guess that's why he's known, because he does that. He also has some phenomenal breathing techniques.
Yes.
To maintain what's the pH balance naturally just through breathing techniques. It's awesome. But that cold technique works. I have to admit that I've had a hard time doing the cold showers in the cold winter. But in the summer, it's like no issue. I just do it. But I did notice that I can handle cold weather a whole lot more easily this winter than I could last winter. So last winter we had -20. It wasn't such a warm winter. We had all those bouts and stuff like that. It was cold. This winter, I find myself, I didn't feel like I had to put on a winter jacket till it was 50 degrees outside. You know, or 50 degrees. I'm sorry, I'm speaking in Fahrenheit because I still think that way.
Are you an American, Mimi?
Pardon?
Are you an American?
No, I'm actually a Canadian, but I grew up with Fahrenheit and feet and inches before Canada switched over to metric. So 50 degrees is actually 10 Celsius. So
Mhm.
10 Celsius was when I started wearing my winter jacket. Was I wearing a sweater when I went out? Yeah, I was wearing a sweater, but I wasn't wearing a winter jacket. I wasn't wearing gloves because my body had acclimated to being with cold from a good place. My core was warm and it learned how to be with cold in a way that we've forgotten how because we're always in heat. Heaters in our house, heaters, whatever.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about manifestation because you said in our bio that there's that what you do is to have people manifest. So if
Correct.
somebody wants to manifest good health, talk to us about how or getting through this. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Correct. So the secret to manifesting is being in the parasympathetic state, which means relaxed and digest state. So we either can be in the flight or fight, which is when we're scared or we have a deadline or running for the bus. That's like the flight or fight. Or everything is well, everything is good. That's the parasympathetic state. So when we're in fear, that's flight or fight. Our energy is diverted from immune system, from reproduction system, from digestion. So we're not actually well. So that's around health. When we're in parasympathetic state, we're relaxed. Everything is well. The body's functioning normal. That's the love and kindness and gratitude state. And the magic of being in that state, we're connected to source. We're connected to synchronicities. Things start to occur in our life that we want because we're focusing on what we want versus what we don't want. So mastering our ability to be in the parasympathetic state is the practice. And religious practice do that, and they call it connection to God. That's full faith and full trust that what God's giving us we can handle. For spiritual people, it's connection to the universe and to all the innate power, innate knowledge, innate intelligence that's out there. So the more we connect to that innate intelligence, the manifestation rate is accelerated. And it's something that I practice. It's something that the Wayne Dyer writes about, Louis Hay writes about. So all spiritual leaders write about that, being in that receptive gratitude state that all is well and what I want wants me more and is coming to me. And I get it as a human being. Sometimes it's really hard to be in it because we want to control everything. We want to know if I do A, B, C, D, then this will happen.
Right.
And it's more of a quantum experience where we say what we want, we feel and we visualize it and feel how it feels when we got it, and how we get it will be very different sometimes how we actually imagined it. And even with this virus going out there, we might be thinking like, why is this happening? Are we being punished? Is this a karmic thing? And I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to that Earth and humans wanted something, and this is how it's showing up. Sometimes it shows up like a big reset, a big jolt, a big turnaround to actually get what the Earth and what humans need.
It's interesting. I think the big thing that stuck out for me in what you just said was about the parasympathetic. Because there's people out there that aren't connected spiritually or think that it's all woo-woo and stuff like that. But the thing that you said that was factual for me was parasympathetic versus fear, fight or flight. Fear is fight or flight, and ways of being in parasympathetic are showing gratitude, giving kindness to another person, on those kinds of things. So when different people are saying, well, show gratitude, it's not like, well, why should I show gratitude? Well, you should show gratitude because you want to keep maintaining the parasympathetic state, because that's where your healing is going to be. That's where your immune system is going to be boosted. That's where those are things that you can do that don't cost money, that don't whatever, that are just going to be supportive, not only as for the community, not for yourself, like right away. So thank you so much for that. I think for me, that's the big gold nugget in what you said. Why don't you take a couple of minutes? There's like so much more I know that we could talk about with this from where you come from. Why don't you take a couple of minutes to let people know a little bit about how they can connect with you if they want to know more about how to deal with this shift in humanity at this time?
Absolutely. They can find me on Facebook under Dr. Larisa Shevchuk. If mothers are watching this, I do have a page for moms called Fully Nourished Mama to specifically support moms in transition and transformation. And I would love to offer anyone who is called to have a half an hour call with me around their health and how we can empower them around health. And they connect to me on Facebook, and we'll put the link in the comments.
All that information, with this video.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for being with me this morning and taking the time out from your family and from your work to get this presented to the world. So much appreciated. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for who you are, Mimi, in the world. Thank you for sharing this message to the world.
Thank you.